This is part 4 of our 4-part series. Managing Civil3D project data in the cloud is what we're going to be looking at in this webcast. The previous 3 webcasts have been done by Lucy. My name is Dean Peterson. Here at Arcants, we are now part of the whole Arcants group. We span 18 countries, and as ever, our consultants have extensive real-life experience in the industries that we work in, enabling Arcants to deliver premium technology guidance to all of our customers, as we have done in this local area, but now we have people and capability all over the world. As you can see on the right there is a number of different software providers that we now have access to, and there is actually a whole heap of different softwares we have access to as well that you'll see will be coming out over the next year or two to this part of the world as well. In the session, if you have questions, use the Q&A button in the Zoom meeting, where it says Q&A Zoom function. It doesn't mean zoom in and out. It means there's a Zoom meeting button for Q&A. Alternatively, if you don't want or think of a question later, you can reach out to us later on info@a2knotechnologies.com.au and send us an email. So as I was saying, this is part 4 of a 4-part series. In the background is Lucy, my colleague, who, if you put in questions, she'll be answering those, but I'll also pick up Q&A at the end if there's some good questions there that would be good to broadcast. So for this session, we'll do a little bit of a recap of some of the points from the previous webcast. Then we'll be looking at the use of Xrefs on the cloud, the things you need to note about doing that, use of data shortcuts on the cloud, and more points to note around that as well. So tips and tricks, things you need to know about. And then Sheetset generation, again, that's done up on the cloud. It's slightly different and a new function. And then plan production with Civil3D on the cloud as well. So this webcast, like the others, is just introductory use of the cloud with Civil3D. The cloud being the Autodesk Construction Cloud, ACC. We haven't got into any, really, of the functionality of ACC. It's really all about the setup that we've been dealing with in these sessions. So let's get into it, I suppose. And if you've watched any of my webcasts before, you'll see that I like to go and do a wee demo. So let's go and do that. So let's open up Civil3D here. And on your start page, as Lucy has been showing you, we can get access to our Autodesk projects on the left here. Now, for a recap on what Lucy was showing you in the previous webinar, this all works through this thing here called Desktop Connector. Pending tasks there, which is interesting. The Desktop Connector, I've got a conflict there. That shouldn't matter. Oh, that's because I deleted those files and before they were updated. So I'll clean that up later on. But as you can see, the Desktop Connector keeps track of the files between your machine and the files up on the cloud. So I should be able to resolve those. You can resolve this conflict later, or I can keep mine, or I can keep theirs. So I'm going to discard my changes and keep theirs, and it should, I've actually deleted it up on the cloud. So we can do that and resolve any conflicts that way. And that is maintaining a link between the cloud stored files and your local cache, which is under Autodesk Docs here, and in my case, my ACC project files, these files here. These are the ones cached on my local machine, and as Lucy was showing you in her webcast, they correspond to, to the same folders that are stored up on the Autodesk Construction Cloud. ACC in the background, which is where we're storing them all. So they're all being stored up there, but what we're going to be showing you in this webcast is the use of the links between those files, between our drawings, which is what we're used to using in Civil3D and AutoCAD. All right, I might just keep that there. Back to Civil3D. So we want to begin with, have a look at Xrefs. So let's go and open up, what do we want? Xrefs. We've got a little drawing up in here actually. So here's my ACC project and project files. I have a similar system of folders as to what Lucy was showing you, which is consistent with the ISO 19650 folder format. We stick with that ideally because people we invite to our projects will be familiar with how this works. So work in progress, here's my civil folder, civil work area, and I'm going into my project stage 1 folders, and I'm going to open my CP project drawing. The other reason for using the that folder structure, the ISO 19650, is that when ACC creates its own folders like the shared folders and the consumed folders, which sometimes it does automatically, they go in the correct locations. So we've got a Civil3D drawing here, we've got surfaces, etc., and we want some Xrefs. Okay, this is very, very simple. We just type in Xref if you like to use the command line, or you can get to it any other way through the ribbon if you prefer, but you know, I'm old school, and still the fastest way of using AutoCAD is still the command line. So Xref panel. Oh, by the way, please excuse me if I do cough a little bit or sound a bit scratchy. I did have COVID about 3 weeks ago, and I'm still got the cough lingering on from that. And so please excuse me if I do have to stop and take a bit of a cough. Okay, so we can do all the normal attaching, and I'm going to go and attach some drawings into here. So attach drawing, images, whatever. Now, the thing to note is that you can't mix and match. This drawing I opened, I stored it up on the cloud. All your Xrefs and things need to be up on the cloud. So if I go to Autodesk Docs, we want to go and find our project in Autodesk Docs, ACC project files, and have our drawing or the things we want to Xref in up in Autodesk Docs. So I've got a folder here called Xrefs, like you would have in a project on your local server. Often people will have a folder called Xrefs. I've just made a folder called Xrefs, and I've put all my Xref drawings into there. I'm going to grab both of them, go open. Open, please. Okay, thought it did both of them at once last time, but there we go. No scale, no insertion point, no rotation. I just want them in the same place. They're in a coordinate system. But here's the key, and the thing that needs to be, they do need to be in a relative path if they're on the on ACC, on the web, on the cloud. Okay, only relative path. You can't change that. Don't change that. Okay, so there it goes in. Pretty sure I did both of them last time, but anyway, wants one at a time, so I'll do one at a time, and we'll go underground surfaces as well. Xref those in. Again, no scale, no rotation, no insertion point, and just the same as normal, just with those couple of things to note. Xref in as per normal, and if they change, you get the balloon notification just the same. So if anybody has done the intermediate or advanced training with me, let's display order, send back. We did use the surface here, and I said it was a real surface from Sydney. As you can see by the image, it actually is, with a median in the middle of the road. That's where it comes from. It's actually a correct real surface. So there's our Xrefs working as per normal. Nothing difficult about that at all. So I'm going to leave that drawing up for the moment, I think, and start a new one. So Xrefs. Now, data shortcuts. Actually, we don't want to start a new one yet. We're going, yeah, we'll keep a new one for the moment, but we're actually going to open a data shortcut. So let's go open. I've got under drawing, please. Under my Autodesk docs, my project. Of course, if you're sick of going through your project, you can just make a shortcut for the project you're working on at the time. Civil folder, stage 1, surveyed surface. Okay, so here's a surface from, or created from my surveyor, or surveyor's information. Civil3D surface, and I want to make a data shortcut out of it. So again, same functionality as you're used to using. Data shortcuts, we first of all have to set a working folder. Now, the thing you need to know is the working folder. Again, you can't mix and match. Everything has to be on the cloud, not on your local machine or your local network. So put everything on the cloud first. You do need to save the location of this drawing, and so it needs to be up on the cloud first, obviously, so you must have saved it. And then we need to find the working folder in our shared doc, in our, duplicated or mirrored documents here, folders, I should say. So ACC project files. Now, you can't have your working folder as your project files folder. It's got to be at least one level below that. And in this case, I've made a folder civil, and I call it DREF, to make my data shortcuts in my DREF folder. And many people actually do that in their already in their project files. They'll have a DREF folder sitting next to their Xrefs for their working folder. So I'm going to select that as my working folder. And then I'm going to right click on here, and you can do this any way you want. Doesn't have to be from there, but I'm just old school. And we go new data shortcuts project folder as per normal. Now, for this to work, you do have to have BIM Collaborate Pro. If you've only got docs, Autodesk docs, you won't be able to set up this data shortcut folder. Okay, so you do need at least one license somewhere for somebody in your business with BIM Collaborate Pro license. That'll give you access to a whole bunch of other things for collaboration, but to do this, you do need it as well. Things to note, we're just given the internal folder a new name, so Project X. The thing to note in here though is don't use project template. This you don't tick on when using the cloud ACC system. Okay, so just be aware of that. Don't tick that one on. We'll go okay. And now that's all set up in the, oops, highlight there, there we go. It's set up with that location as my folder structure for where to save the data shortcuts, and I can now make it. So create data shortcuts, gonna make that one. For time, not too bad. So to create, are we not associated with this? Should be associated. Thought it wasn't associated for some reason, but anyway, now it should be associated. Create data shortcuts. There we go. I think that's because I've been testing in this drawing before, and it was associated to another folder previously. But as per normal, you can reassociate it. Now I can make that data shortcut. All right. So what I'm going to do now is go to, I'm actually going to just turn that off for a moment. Don't want those coming up. And we can go back to our new drawing. Now, the other thing you need to know is before you make data shortcuts in your new drawing, you need to save this new drawing up on the cloud. All right, so I'm going to do a save. I'm going to put this again in my replicated folders here. Civil project stage 1. I'm going to put it in here and call it Xrefs or working drawing perhaps. Make more sense. Now that it's saved in the normal way, we can make our data shortcut. Change anything you want. Zoom extents, there it is. We should probably check that it works. Let's go back into here. Make some edits. Cut a big hole in it. Save the drawing. And go and have a look at the working drawing. There's my balloon notification. Synchronize. There we go. All right, so that's all working as per normal. And as per normal, you can keep going. So make a alignment in here. Alignment creation tools. Name. Style to use. Alignment. Okay, using the ANZ styles. Make a long section. Again, we'll just use the default ANZ styles. Draw profile view. We're not going to set anything, just use the defaults. Create profile view. Boom. Make a profile. Again, it's the launch pad, fast way to do it. Nothing going to change there. No snap. That is one of my add-ons that's not behaving properly. I had to rebuild my machine a little last week, which wasn't fun. And yeah, that's not behaving properly yet, but we'll figure out which one of those it is later on. And free curves. Boom, boom. And one there. All right, and so as per normal, we can then data shortcut those back again. So create data shortcuts, put in the alignment, and we don't want EG profile, but we can take our design profile. We can data shortcut those back into that folder, and somebody else can reference those in a, or multiple different people can reference those in their own drawings. You know, and pipe networks is a good thing to do as well when somebody's working on pipes, for instance. So there's my CL2 and my design ready to go. So as per normal, all the data shortcut stuff is all working, just with those couple of provisos. Save your drawing first and don't use a project template. Not that many people, I believe, were actually doing that anyway. Okay. Next, I'll just leave that up for the moment, I think. Let's go open another drawing. Let's use the cross sections drawing. So again, this is the drawing on my up on ACC, but it's opening the one on my replicated folders on my local machine. So it's the cross sections drawing. So it will pull it down from the web if it's not already here, which not sure if it did or didn't at that time, but anyway. Okay, so that is actually pretty quick to transfer data up and down. Okay, so anybody that's done basic training with me will recognize this drawing as the cross sections drawing from training, from the essentials. And when what we wanted to look at in this particular instance, sheet sets. When you use Civil3D to lay out cross sections on sheets, and also the plane production for the long sections on sheets, it creates a sheet set. Now you can create sheet sets manually, pardon me, in the Autodesk functionality, and you'll see that up on YouTube for various people using Autodesk, up on ACC, but I want to show you for Civil3D. So let's look at the Civil3D functionality. So that is to go to the Output tab in the ribbon. Let's go create section sheets now that we've got the cross sections produced. Check the scale, scale's good. Create section sheets. Now, we're going to go through and create the sheet set. And what I wanted to show you is that when we do this, it's going to be asking for a sheet set template and probably some plot settings as well, because sheet sets are used for plotting. Now, if you're not going to use it for plotting, you probably don't need the plot settings, but you will probably need a sheet set template. If you're going to be using them, this is the way you want to set it up. So if we go back to ACC here, you set up those plot settings by making a separate project. So if I go and look at my projects here and type in as the prefix, I've made a separate project called my plot settings project. I'll make a separate tab out of that. in this project, I have some folders with fonts, a whole bunch of fonts for my my text, with SHP and SHX files, for instance, in there, anything that is required for my fonts that I use. Line type files, LAM files that I use in my template, any CTB or STB files that I want to use or need to use for my plotting of sheets. Sheetset templates, which is what we're going to be using if we want to use one of those. And also I've put my plan production folders up in here as well, plan production DWTs up in here as well. So this is so that they can be referenced by any projects that are up on the cloud using ACC. Now, the thing about this is that you want to give anybody that wants to plot from ACC needs to be a member of this project, as Lucy showed you how to do that in the previous webcasts, but also they need to, these folders, they need to have edit functionality to all of these folders to be able to use these files. So that's key to being able to do that. So let's show you how that works. Back in Civil3D, this one. The layouts, they're going to go into this drawing as the cross sections do. I'm going to call it XS, cross section 1, 2, 3. Let's check the counter. No, I don't want to start at 15. I want to start at 1. New sheet set name will be Project X. We can add to an existing if we want. The sheet set storage location, by default, it's going the same location as my current drawing, where this is saved. That's where I normally put it, but you can put it in a separate folder if you want. But it's going to go next to my drawings. So that's fine. And then I'm going to go create sheets. It says it's going to save the drawing as it normally does. Okay, this is nice. This drawing actually I copied off my machine and copied it up into the cloud, in which case it lost its association with the template that set up these sheets. So it's actually picked that up and it's asking me to go and find that template. So this is why I this is one of the things that I've set up in that project that I just showed you up on the cloud, so that I can go and access it now. So I want to go to my plot settings project that I just showed you, into my plan production folder, and grab that DWT that's up there and available for use. And here I want the A1 1/200 scale sheet, which is what was used to make these. Okay, going to create the sheets. Now, this is what happens. Ordinarily, the old style sheet set would come up. This is the web sheet set, which is the new thing that was made for ACC. So as you can see, the Civil3D tool actually references this directly and it just pops straight up. So here's the new sheet set that I called it, so that's fine. Here's where you choose a sheet set template. Now it does have some pre-made ones here already. These are just the Autodesk ones, but if you've got your own, which we do have, that's where that little pre-made project comes in again. So these, as you can see, they can't look at your local machine. They have to be up on the web. So that is in my plot settings project that I just showed you. Project files. And it's under Sheetset templates. I'll put a couple in there. I'm going to go to my council Sheetsets and select that one. And the storage location should be where I set before, which it is. Go next. It gives you the opportunity to set some fields for the information for the sheet set. We can do that later on. So let's just go create. That's the properties for the sheet set. But as you can see, the Civil3D function just accesses the new sheet set type directly. This VFG trench alignment, that's part of the template that I chose, which could have different sheet set properties all set up and also different subsets of sheets all set up as well. That's just a subset of sheets that you can choose to use or not use. Okay, and that's it. And so it's all working there. Here's my sheets been generated. They've all been generated down the bottom here as per normal. Here's, if we want to renumber these, we can. So we can make new subsets, new sheets, import sheets. We can auto number, which is really nice. I've always had problems numbering with the old sheet sets, but these you can simply put a prefix if you want. So A, and start numbering at 20 and go OK. Look at that. It's just renumbered all those sheets in that group. And you can rearrange them if you want and renumber. So you just rearrange them, grab one, put it up in the list, down on the list, although that doesn't make much sense in this instance for cross sections, but it's easy. You can drag it to another section. And what I actually really like as well is, oops, in here, if I go to my project, to make custom properties in here, hit this little plus. You might need to hit these chevrons next to it. And you can make custom sheet set properties and new sheet properties just directly in here. And they go into this list. There's some in here already, but you can make as many as you want and just add them into the sheet set, which is really nice. And of course, you've got your plot and things up in here. Open sheet set up in here. And you right click on here to go and publish to PDF, you transmit, etc. So, one thing I have found though, well, as you probably know, in 2024, we've got these new templates for Civil3D, the example ones. If you're using the example ones, they don't have the drawing, the sheet numbers set up by default, just to work off the sheet sets. I'm having a couple of issues with the sheet set numbers, the automatic ones, just at the moment. I'm not sure if it's my machine because I've had to rebuild it last week, but I'm talking to Autodesk about that now at the moment. So it's just not working as I'm expecting it to have this number show up on the bottom of the sheet in a field. So I'm just needing to sort that out at the moment and see what the story is with that. But it may well be my machine. I'm pretty sure it was working before. I'm pretty sure it was. Okay. I think we're good. I think that covers the topics. So let's go back to the PowerPoint. that's the wee demo. Q&A. Let's have a look at Q&A and see if we've got any questions that haven't been looked at yet. If you've got any other questions, you can put those in now. It looks like they've been either answered already or nobody's put any in yet. So feel free to put some in there if you're wanting to. Just while that's happening, I wanted to talk about this. Myself being an engineer, and probably most people on this call also being engineers, a number of people have gone and asked me about when we changed to Vin 0 and now part of Arcance. Where is it that we're, or what are we doing towards the goal of zero carbon? It's a big part of what we talk about, but where is it? And it's something that I'm quite sort of passionate about, because being an engineer, I've been involved in the waste management industry and sort of reclamation and waste reclamation in the landfill industry. And I don't like to see waste and energy going to waste and things being thrown as landfill that don't need to be. And also, you know, obviously that includes the waste of energy and resources. And it was only myself as included that that recently I found these things. And one of our staff, Joanne Gallagher, has been running these podcasts. And there is a huge collection of these podcasts. If you go and to our website, which is under Vin 0 or Arcance, and under Our Thinking in the middle and under Listen, you'll find a huge list of them. And I've put some of them on the right over here. They are effectively masterclasses from people in the industry in Australia and New Zealand, leaders in the industry, who are doing this stuff right now. They are really, really good. I was listening to these things coming back through the airport from Brisbane a couple of weeks ago as I was getting COVID. So if you're wanting to know what's going on right now in the sustainable energy side of things, do go and have a look at these things. They're also on Spotify. So these will actually take you to a link through to our list of podcasts on Spotify, which is actually probably an easier way to find them in many circumstances if you're already use that. They're really, really good, and there is heaps of them. Now, in our part of the world, it's not mandated that we yet need to start working towards zero carbon, but there's no doubt that it will be. So if you want to get ahead of the 8 ball and start working towards that now, obviously it's a good advertising and promotional thing for your company, but also it's going to be less painful the earlier you can get on the get the process started. So in many circumstances, it's actually going to start saving you money as well. And that's the next step, is if you're interested in taking it further than just seeing what's being done. And in many cases, these people are working for government as well, so they can tell you what's coming up. Really, really good. I do recommend, having a look through the list of these things, and you can see some of the topics there, and having a listen. It's really, really good. But the next step beyond that is to go and have a look at, we've got a few specialized workshops that you can sign up for. They are run by our very own Dot, who runs these courses. She's qualified from Europe. As you know, the Europeans are way ahead of us in terms of zero carbon and sustainability, and she's been working over there for a number of years and has brought her speciality, her learning down to this part of the world for us to take advantage of. And she runs these courses for people to get started along the process. So if you're interested, do have a look at those. Do have a look at these courses as well. Listed on our website. The descriptions are there. All right, actually, there's a couple of Q&As here just come through, so let's have a quick look at those. How to edit DWT files, template files. A template file. So that's just the same as a DWG file, a drawing file. And so I can show that quickly, I suppose, a DWT. I presume he means a DWT. But the other thing is, can we get a recording of this presentation, please? Yes, these recordings all go up onto YouTube. So let me just show you that quickly, where you can find those. The desktop. Oops, where did my desktop go? So if you go through to YouTube, and put in Vin0, or yeah, Vin0, I suppose. No, I can't. And should get it. That's ANZ. We'll see if they've been. Here we go. Getting started with BIM Collaborate Pro. That's part. Which part is that? Part 3. That's the last one, and you'll be able to trace through to part 2 and part 1. Okay, so they're all up on there. The other question was DWT files. DWT is the same as a DWG. Except it just doesn't have any drawing in it. So if I open up one of these, actually, let's get rid of that. Sorry, just rearranging my screen. Let's go to this one. So okay, let me just delete that. That's what a DWT will look like. When you open it up, DWT would just look like that. It's a blank drawing. And then you just go through and change the styles. It's just a blank drawing with a bunch of styles in it. That's all it is. And then you can, go and change your styles and save it. That's all the DWT is. I guess that's the question you're asking, but hope that answers your question. If not, drop a line to So info@h2ktoechnologies.com.au, and we'll be able to get back to you. All right, thank you everybody for joining into the session, and hopefully we'll see you on another one at a later date. Thanks a lot.